Capricorn, welcome back. For those of you who are new, a very warm welcome. I'm just going to try and move the light a little bit. Okay, we are here to do your read for December. For those of you who are new, I cover the astrology, I cover twin flame path. I also do the moon energies, and potentially in 2020, I will be launching a lot more videos that are going to help you actually work with the energies that's going on. It'll be spiritual tools, etc. Now, if you're wanting a booking during the silly season, the link is below. It's a deeply reflective time as well. Now, I do emergency bookings as per request, so if you do need one, go to the link below and I can tee you up one on the other side. Now, I have pulled your cards ahead of time, and it's interesting because I'm sitting back and I'm having a cuppa and I'm tuning into your energy, both from a psychic point of view, as well as connecting the astrology and obviously the cards intuitively. Now, I'm using, what's it called? Native Spirit cards, okay? So this is the deck I'm using. I'm also pulling chakra cards and clarifiers, as well as a crowning energy. Now, the first card that's come through is moving forward, and it's in reverse. Now, it's funny because this card breaks down to a 5, and 555, you know, if you're seeing that number synchronistically, it's in reverse, so it's a delay before the change. And the way I've named it is really a reflective time for you guys collectively, for all Capricorns and rising. Yes, you can look at your Venus in this area, but more so Sun, Moon, and Rising Capricorn energies. Also collectively, obviously, because the nodes are in Cancer and Capricorn, and the eclipses shall be in Cancer and Capricorn, these energies are playing out for you very personally. So potentially anything that's coming to the forefront is, it can be you getting ascension flu, it can be you feeling very fatigued. Everything that is happening at the moment with you, any doors that feel blocked, it's divinely guided, and it might feel like you feel semi-cursed. You know, obviously we get the slowdown effect when it does come to Christmas and New Year's, depending on what your spiritual mindset is and what you celebrate. But this seems more of a very spiritual energy coming through, of a reflective sense. So you've got moving forward in reverse. So it's like this pause before the movement forward, and that's coming through in January. I do feel potentially by about the 2nd to 3rd week, this energy will kind of amp up a notch. It is a time of good luck as well, especially when you're releasing your belief systems. What you do tend to find, and it's an egoistic experience, you're tuning into a problem, a person, or a place, and you feel blocked. You don't quite have a solution. It's in that detachment where you physically feel you have no control that the direct change occurs. And it's the releasing of that energy that's really crucial. Your first card that you've got is Dream Traveler. So it can be, again, with the 12th house activation, it's deeply psychic. When it comes to a journey in reverse, which is what I'm saying to you, is like no movement forward and you're kind of feeling kind of stuck. It's the reflection on how much work you've done. It's the reflection on how far you've come, but you might not be giving yourself the credit that you're due. Some of these dreams are yet to transpire, and I do feel they're coming through in 2020 for you guys. And I'm going to try my very best to do videos for each zodiac sign covering 12 months, but it depends on how much time I've actually got. But in an intuitive sense, it feels as though you guys are meditating upon some of these plans and dreams that didn't quite come to fruition. And the Capricorn energy is very accountable, especially being in Saturn and Pluto, and Jupiter will be moving into that energy also. So it's very accountable energy coming through, and energies from the past. So it can feel like you're moving backwards, but any launch as per se that you're wanting to have, it's quite positive moving it forward in January. The fine-tuning of things when you're moving through 2020 will be important as well, but it'll be in increments and time frames you shall do that. Now, another thing I have actually noticed is throughout the reads that I've done this month, a lot of spirits from the other side have been coming through. And yes, I do have mediumship qualities to me where I can actually channel your loved one's past over, but it was very unique that in every read, a passed over loved one energetically was around each zodiac sign, and I've never noticed that before ever. Obviously, when I do private reads, yes, I notice it, but obviously with the 12th house, Neptune direct, I feel we're moving away from delusions and having our crown chakra activated. I also used amethyst as a stone for this cycle. Again, citrine will be very beneficial as well, because it does help empower you, but it also helps with stagnant energies, so to speak, and I'll keep it at that term, just in a simplistic point. But I'm seeing citrine to be very beneficial for you guys at the moment. It's also going to help you purge some of these fear-based frequencies. And I'm feeling really a balance of like your yin and yang energy going on, which can be masculine, feminine. So your yin yang, your emotional body, your 3D etheric body. It feels very much balancing of those. Now, potentially there can be an energy of a passed over loved one and earth-based frequencies coming through for you, but I feel there's a pause in that energy and you're really not sure how the future is going to be, and it could be causing you potentially a lot of meditation or a lot of thought process into those areas. And it's interesting because the clarifier is doctor, which I always say that when we're going through an egoic purge and we're meditating upon scenarios, what you do tend to find is once you're reaching that point of release, you can potentially get ascension flow or run down in natural, natural 3D body. When the body's run down and it's been dealing with heavy stress, it can become unwell, and it's not due to the fact that getting run down does it. Getting run down makes you more susceptible to that frequency, very similar to ascension flow. The mystery is detachment, okay? And I have pulled the unseen. Some of these things that are playing out for you this month are helping you move into alignment. They're helping you move into what's to come. I don't feel you're having the energy where you're wanting to be around a lot of people, but potentially people may wish to be around you. And again, I'm just saying this very heavy energy of spiritual transformation for you guys. A lot of release, a lot of exhaustion, and cramming things, but at the same time being very gentle on yourself, that you're just trying to get as much done as possible, but at the same time it feels quite delayed. So you're trusting that potentially, although you might not want some of these things to transfer into 2020, potentially there's an energy that it's divinely guided that it's supposed to. Now, your crowning energy connected to moving forward and an ability to can be due to the nodes in Cancer, okay? Cancer and Capricorn. But more so the aspects of work and family have been a huge subject. And being your shadow sign, it can be trying to find the balance in those two areas. I do feel there's two direct areas that you're trying to sort, balance, and potentially in 2019, it made it difficult to achieve a balance in both. Now, with this dream state, it does come down to your Mars energy. Your clarification card is, again, Hermit mode. And I kept seeing this as a very relevant energy in December, almost like the Hermit mode, having the meditation. Obviously, the 12th house activation can then denote, ascension flow before your movement forward. So it's like certain pieces of the puzzle coming together, and it may be very much at the last minute. But there's definitely inner child work going on here. Now, with the eclipses in January, you'll find they do connect in with family members. So in that area, what you may find is something from the past might come back into the here and now, moving into January. And some of those energies will be playing out for you in December. And again, I mentioned the 12th house. Okay. At the heart of it, you're the key to you changing things coming towards you, you trusting in your intuition for this emotional abundance to come. You know, the key to it is what makes you happy. You know, the great mystery is yourself, really. And it's, you know, by you actually putting the energy into you. A lot of times we do find that the healing is acknowledging the fact that these weights and these energies that we're placing energy into, a lot of times it's like directly taking away from ourselves. And I always use the analogy of both the Titanic and flying in a plane. And when you fly in a plane, if the plane's going down, the first thing they say to you is put the mask on yourself. Then you help others. with the Titanic directly saving herself, even if she had great love and passion. You know, the energy comes in for actually taking care of yourself, and it's an innate way of being. You know, it's, you must look after yourself before we can help anyone else, and it's really not, how do I put it, not always placing everyone above you, because if you're not okay, everyone else can't be okay. So this stability does come from a healing within yourself and placing yourself, you know, your relationship you have with yourself is mending. I do feel this is going to restore peace and harmony. I'm also seeing that other people might want you to be doing particular things, but you're focusing on other things at the moment and doing the very best you can. In your financial domain, you might feel, with this card, it's in reverse. And again, it's moon energy. And I do feel for the next 3 to 4 moon phases, it's going to be very, very unique, very life-changing. And that's between this year and the, you know, and the end, and then next year, January. So these key points are real turning points. And I'm almost seeing the wheel. Being in reverse, I feel at a financial level, you're really looking at the darker shadow of situations and the value in situations and how you're going to change those dynamics. You might even be concerned about your finances, but at the same time, it's like, what do you do from there? You can be feeling like things are depleting. I do feel your intent is in the new year with sorrow in reverse to actually change that dynamic, but really having a good hard look at it. Maybe taking a different approach and seeing what you can do with those things. I'm also seeing a need to look at your statements because I do feel you're going to, some sense of money is coming to you at the last minute. And potentially this can be something you invested in for a while. I keep hearing self-fulfilling prophecies. Now, in your work domain, for those of you that have been working hard, I feel you will have a lot to draw upon. Some of you have been going through this transitional state potentially since, and I know the astrology is linking back to 2009, 2011 for January. And it's ironic that this is the December read, yet I keep mentioning January for you, and I really feel it's quite important. Be cautious of what you're telling yourself when it does come to moving forward, because I think if you've spiritually done the work on yourself, everything is going to work out. Intuitively, I do feel some of you had an aha moment. This was probably towards the beginning of 2019. And you following a hunch throughout the year of what you needed to do, work 3D at a financial level, work emotionally, working with people, all of those things, I feel you've actually been divinely guided. I also feel in a sense of seeing how something was going to transpire. You've already well and truly prepared. So you're in alignment of that, but I really do feel as though your energy is going to be shifting more towards the passionate aspects of things now. Some of you might have tied up loose ends with work, and now you're more free for that, especially with the balancing out of the energies over the year, with seeing the faults in the system, seeing the faults in the actual foundation of situations, and having to tweak them a little bit so that they work. At a financial level, some of you might have lost passion. And I do feel you've been saving. So, you know, with this savings, if you have been saving and you've been putting money away, I just feel in general you haven't felt really up to indulging your senses. Because you've got desire in reverse, which is connected to sacral chakra. And this is, you're unsure really what, when it comes to investing, you're assessing that at an emotional level. Also, I feel as though you're not quite sure what to intimately connect with. This could be, you know, a direct person, a romantic interest. But it's old energies and old patterns are being purged, not necessarily just the person. It's the old storyline connected to that. Something from a past, in a sense of a financial dynamic, is coming up. You're not enjoying the process, but I feel if you keep tucking in, you're going to reap this abundance. But it is an emotional, spiritual journey. I do feel you've almost felt as though your eyes have been pushed towards one area. Meanwhile, other areas of your life have become imbalanced. I do feel with your work domain, it's going to give you, your creativity is going to be in high gear between the end of the year and moving into 2020. And this is going to give you a lot more luxuries. It's going to gift you more time, and this can even be from a spouse or a partner, but it feels the bridging of those energies is really going to benefit that. But both of you are going to be more so on the same page. For those of you who that message is relevant, but on a work-related domain, I feel directly picking your correct tribe is going to be crucial to the success of any future projects, but it's also about your alignment and really assessing those dynamics. In your family, some of you, it's such a unique energy. There can be a spiritual energy where you're purging. The freedom in it is really about choosing to be you. What sits right for you? And between, Christmas and New Year's, some people won't be able to be together. That's more from a point of view of other things that you personally, Capricorn, are needing to do, wanting to do, or it's divinely guided from universe. This can be so other energies around you can learn lessons that potentially they haven't. But anything and any place where you're kept super busy, it's because other people are having spiritual upgrades. So you might take it as a personal thing, but it's both for you and them, because any rejection is universe's protection. So trust in the process. I do feel you're really taking on a very mature energy, especially when it does come to Saturn. You've got grandfather sky here, which is really feeling a very mature energy. It also can be a loved one on the other side who's with you during this time connected to family. It feels more a male energy. Now, in your love domain, you've got circle of life, okay? This to me is, I'm hearing the word ending a chapter, but the ending of a chapter doesn't have to be that you're leaving this person. It's tying up of loose ends. It's been a long, slow process. It can even be from your childhood. But, I'm hearing every season has its chapter. So it can be that this person is changing and going through a cycle, and it's the accepting of this. I do feel you're going to hear from someone from the past in relation to what they've been living and what you've been living. This can even be the movement forward. Yeah, you've got a lot of communication coming up in love. So this can be exchanges. This can be more open views, speaking about the frustration of situations that's been playing out, both in your life and this person's life. And it's also them directly being honest with themselves and vice versa. So, like, the communication is also the actions, but the key to the situation, to dig to the heart of it, is for communication to occur. Now, if you're cross-watching and you're a TF, don't get angry, especially if you've been deeply frustrated. I do see Chiron energy coming through here, moon energy. It's all lining up. It's, try not to get triggered with time. It's really crucial to understand that. It's funny because these two cards break down to an 11, and it's a male and a female on the card. So it very much can be both parties in alignment for this movement. I do feel some of you may have actual movement and be trying to catch each other, and it's like, how does this keep happening? How do we keep missing each other? But it feels quite busy when it does come to that domain. And definitely in your work-related domain, it could be that you're working away or having to go deal with something, and then this person makes contact and they're going through a similar transitional state to you. This can even be your current partnership, just being really busy tying up loose ends. I do feel you're in your mind quite a bit, though. Now, the unseen of what you're not seeing is passion, okay? And this is more, you know, I'm seeing on through your read a lot of orange coming through. And the orange energy is intimacy, desire, fear, guilt, creativity, passion. So the energy, as per se, can be amping up where it's coming up for both parties, where this energy is quite passionate. So it's almost, well, I'd say Mars, but that's more so for chakra. Yeah, temptation. I told you. That's your clarification to the spirit of fire. It's this temptation for getting together. So if you guys have been busy, it's almost like you're wanting to push through to get to each other. Deeply frustrating energy. For you personally, potentially, Capricorn, that you've had so much going on. I do feel you've been, so how do I put it? There just seems like there's been a lot of subjects coming up this year to make you accountable. It's really made you quite tired. Now, Capricorn, you're coming in potentially not feeling so grounded, wondering how this is going to go. And this, for a lot, have been coming up in the reads where their cards have been a reversal in the romance house. A lot of you, and this is my interpretation, the more you sink into the reads of the month, the more messages you get in a sense of downloads. Detachment, right? No expectations, just physically fatigued from the year, which I always say, with your third eye, when you're operating from that, a lot of what can happen is it's a processing. And once you're processing, it's like nothing really moves because you're trying to comprehend and make peace with it. Once you do, there's a lot of detachment. So the cards that have come out aren't speaking to me in a sense of there's no movement. They're actually speaking to me of a great deal of acceptance, knowing the vibration, integrating the vibration into you and manifesting it, not knowingly so. Because a lot of you are feeling you're not on the right path. It's like, how do we get off this path? How did I get off this path? How have I been with the wrong people, the wrong places, the wrong time? How on earth am I going to heal this? But both of you are in awareness that, you know, this person's awake. This person sees who you are. This person sees the process you're going through. And vice versa, like, you're in the same mindset of seeing each other's views. These situations had to play out for that to happen. They're the cycles of life. Wouldn't be surprised if you guys feel very amused by January. Very amused. Well, even by the time this communication comes through, for those of you who aren't in communication, I think you'll actually realise how much you do directly have in common. Okay, last part of the read. Okay, they're very frustrated. The crosswatch is frustrated because in the past, potentially, they either feel they or you weren't following your gut, weren't owning your power. This can be due to circumstances outside of yourself, not necessarily directly just their actions. And I do feel for a lot, it is due to circumstances around you. Wrong place, wrong time, other situations cropping up, old frequencies being dealt with. This is where they're coming to, you know, with situations that don't resonate with them and they feel can't be fixed. They're actually making peace with their inner child about it and realizing that there's, you know, self-esteem. You can be the nicest person on the street, but things can still happen to you. So it's finding the peace with that and actually understanding that we've all walked a mile in these shoes. Now, this person also, Capricorn, I feel you guys are in two, there's two energies coming through. There's one in which if you are in a connection that you're not happy with, I do feel you guys will leave. Because you really have had the epiphany. You're extremely tired. The healing is coming down to self-worth energy. Definitely with the Cancer moon energy coming through in January, it does denote that if you feel something's not in alignment with you, but you're being holding on by a thin thread, those things can come to the forefront. I feel some of you feel you've just had bad luck, you know, in love. Bad luck in love. And this karmic energy is coming through with it. Both of you, though, in some shape or form, are meant to learn a lesson. This can be with the soulmate energy. This could be with, you know, your direct love interest. However you kind of, and we shouldn't categorize. I mean, however you deem them as such in your mind. It's lowering the, now personal boundaries in reverse at the heart of the reading. I'm actually finding this to be quite positive. Like I said, I get unique visions. I feel it's lowering the guards, not fighting, being in neutrality, if that's even a word, and really making it comfortable where both parties have experienced a dynamic to be able to ultimately speak their truth. Capricorn, the major aspects that are coming through for you guys is if you're actually fighting against what you know, right? Because you've got divine consciousness in reverse, heart chakra in reverse, this in reverse as well. It's you're having aha moments, okay? It's almost like you have to forgive yourself and check what you're sensing, because it's like you're not giving yourself permission to. Could be out of guilt, could be out of fear. I do feel you know intuitively what to do and how to deal with this situation. I feel like there's a lot of like tens on the table, but when I look at this, it's 1 and 9, so it's just before the end and it's in reverse. And this to me is speaking in terms of, you know, a cycle closing out. This cycle closing out is from the past, moving into the future. You're more so in the upright, but until you detach and you listen to the downloads, I do feel do some third eye work, okay? Because the third eye is directly impacting your crown chakra at the moment. It's like you're battling between the two, and it's not head and heart. It's what you're sensing in an intuitive sense to protect you due to previous tense, if that makes sense. My strongest feeling is you will understand why all has happened after the fact. You're also going to see eye to eye with this person that you're meant to be with, because you both have experienced a very similar vibration. The healing is there with this. If you are getting triggered and you're feeling very stuck, try and do some chakra work. Try and do some chakra clearing. I wouldn't recommend doing them all at once. Check into where you're having a pain body experience. And then you can actually, like if you're getting neck aches, it can be directly connected to your throat chakra. If you're getting lower back pains, that's very much linking in with your family domain, your Saturn energy. Trust in what your body's telling you and listen to it. Because with these situations, especially when you're meditating, what you find is alignment is everything. And it's like we're shifting and changing like the planets. Pull 3 more cards and we'll sum up your reading. I feel until you actually finalize this energy, meditation, that's when moving forward is coming. Even the meditation and me seeing the Hermit card in my mind's eye, I don't feel it's connected to Christmas or New Year's. This is 12th house. This is very much part of your spiritual transformation. Yeah, whoever is not meant to be in your work, your domain, it feels like hermit mode, okay? Gathering your tribe in reverse. So for some of you, it might feel quite odd that you're having these feelings about certain individuals all of a sudden. It's actually part of a spiritual process. It's quite normal. You might find it to be quite odd, but it is quite normal because you're upgrading. But reflection back helps but not from the point of view of living there. If you need to look back, it's to see how much you've changed or to take the tools with you of what you learned. Some of these situations don't relate to you, though, answering the call. It's like maybe answering, and I'll pull clarify on that. Some of you, it's going to be to do with the fact that you know what you need to do, but you're refusing to do it. You're not letting an old situation that well and truly died die. And I don't mean physically, I mean 3D. Yeah, this can be an old energy connected to family. It's like this chapter is evolving. This cycle of life is evolving, but it can be due to the fact that you feel responsible, accountable, or worried that you're not trusting it. And there could actually be, for some of you, children involved, but there's a fresh start coming here. But this is deeply rooted in the past. So this movement forward is going to occur. It's a delay on that factor. This is in all areas of life: career, finances, and love. So any quiet time you have, or if you feel you're being cursed by the universe and they're not bringing these people back into your life, it's a temporary energy. And once you've made peace with those blocks, this card goes like that, and you attract that energy because you're in alignment. But there is a change going on with you guys, which is preventing you from moving forward. So it's the peace you make with it. Obviously, if you want me to do some energy work with you, you can book a reading and I can help you with that. And I can also psychically then tune directly into you to tell you what your guides and your past over loved ones want to tell you, if they have anything to say. Sometimes they're adamant they're not going to come through because there's other things going on where you're having a spiritual upgrade, where the interference or the information is premature. And others of them that are very strong energies, they come through whether I want them to or not. Anyway, I shall see you during the month. If you do join the sessions for the moon videos, I do usually connect, what chart, what aspect in your chart for each zodiac sign will be affected by what moon phase. And you're able to ask questions. And I also have super chat if at the end of those videos you wish to actually ask psychic questions. Love and light. Good luck for December. Have a happy new year and a Merry Christmas. It's vice versa, but it kind of feels like that. And just look after yourselves, and I'll see you during the month and in 2020. Love and light.